Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Hope that everything is working proper and yeah, it does. All right, so tonight's live stream, weekly reading for the period 6th of February up until the 12th of February 2023. And if you had paid attention to the thumbnail, you would have saw 5 cards. One of them it's a elemental dignity. So this is going to be the collective reading, and the cards do stand like this. So the first one that we have for the week, that will be the 8 of Pentacles, followed by the second card, which is the Magician. The third one, that will be the Page of Wands. And the fourth card for the week that it is ahead for the collective reading, that will be the Hangman. And the catalyst to the Page of Wands, that will be the Five of Wands. Like this. All right, so interesting week that comes ahead. And it's definitely a week that's we should rather take it easy and not force the issue, whether into career and whether into relationship as well. And that is especially for in the intimate front, for those people who are kind of like single but not exactly. Say that you do have a person that you are going out with, you know, and you're talking with, but things are not quite cooked yet. That will be a week where it should be best, you know, not to press the issue, not to force yourself upon the situation. It's because with that Magician that we do have on the second position here, a couple of things may happen. Or one of the two things is to happen. One is that you may scare the person out through your actions, and especially through your words, through what you are saying. You may cross certain boundaries, right, and exert, I don't know if we can call it the dominance. It's more like a sovereignty. It's like taking away a part of their sovereignty, and you may not do it even consciously. That could be just, you know, you may do something that you consider very normal of doing, but for them it is a breach of it's a breach of personal space, let's put it that way. And the other thing as well, it's through words and through communication, so to speak. It's whether you may say something to change their opinion, or make a statement that will look more like demand, which, you know, they are not gonna take well. Bottom line is that whichever way it kind of like manifests for you guys, you may change their opinion for who you are, and they may not like it. Actually, they aren't going to like it. So this week it will be better to focus on the peripheral aspects of your interaction with the person that you do have in mind, rather than to force the main issue moving forward. And other than that specific case, throughout the week there will be that moment which will allow us to, how can I put it into words? That comes from the first card. Let me show you here. So that comes from the first and the last card. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles and the Hangman that stands. Hello Karen, welcome to the stream. That shows that we are ready for a thing. We are ready for a thing that we had either planned for a very long time, or we had prepared for a very long time, or maybe both things as well. Now these cards are a sign or a testament that the preparations and the planning, it's now on its peak stage, meaning that everything is pretty much taken under consideration, sorted out, and the time to make a move, it's nigh, it's about. However, it's just coming. So throughout the week we will feel that, and we are also going to see, that and things are gonna pop up, but not quite. And it will be a game of patience. Now the time is gonna come, but not within the week itself. That is a sign from the Hangman. The Hangman pretty much shows by the end that the result of the week is that we had done our part, we had done our job, and now things doesn't really depend on us. They probably kind of like, or more likely, depend on the circumstances to align, and that is something that we have to kind of like wait out. No different than going on a job interview, doing fantastically, and now it's time for you to wait for them to call you back, rather than calling them back every second day to ask what is going on. That's under the energy of the Hangman. Having that behavior, it's a breach of privacy, it's a breach of boundaries, and most likely they are not gonna take you. Now that is just a example. With the Magician being into the second position, once again, there we go here. Okay, so with the Magician on the second position, it's kind of like it will be best to restrict and constrain, for lack of a better word, our actions that goes toward the world, the actions that are meant to show and people to see, not just only actions, but also words and communications. And aside from all that, our social circle, or one person in particular within the social circle, is going to stand out throughout the week for a good thing. That is, it could be a friend of ours or a completely new person that we are to meet. It could stand for a organization as well. It's a general reading, and that is from these two cards. Now the Page of Wands with the Five of Wands. And bottom line is that this person, organization, or a social circle is going to present us many new things that we are to find exciting and as well enthusiastic through these new enterprises, let's put them that way. Well, bottom line is that through these enterprises, with the help of these people or that person, we are likely to salvage a certain situation in our life that is not going well at that particular point, primarily related to our mood and as well to our passion. Also, it could be a loss of hobby, it could be a loss of a drive as well. It's just a situation itself kind of like abated the part of our character which is always looking forward for something, and now that part is going to kind of like come back to us as well. Hello Sherry, welcome to the stream. Karen, thank you so much for your double $3 support, one for me and one for Pisces Moonbeam. Thank you, Karen. So that was the collective reading. Karen, let me set you into the list. All right, a few notes about the show before I move forward. There are going to be 12 readings now, one for each star sign, starting up from Aries and ending up with Pisces. Throughout the duration of the live stream, there are also going to be 3 free readings giveaway. So to participate into them, I'm sorry, and to get a free reading from me, all you gotta do is wait for one of the breaks that I'm going to announce. One is going to take place after Cancer, another one is going to be after Scorpio, and the final one is going to set after Pisces. And once I do announce one of those breaks, you can ask a question into the comments down below, and I'm going to pick one of your questions and perform a professional reading on it. Karen, unfortunately, no. I texted him asking if you are okay or not. No response whatsoever. But again, that is an Xbox network, so he may be offline from the Xbox, having some important things to do. It doesn't mean much that he's not responding. Or it could mean that, you know, he's pissed on me of something, you know. Or mad at me. Because of something, I don't know. So another thing is that if you do wish to have your own personal reading, you can always go to my website, which link you are going to find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you are going to see a full list of my services and also their pricing. And finally, if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through Super Chats, you're going to have a reading at the end. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your Super Chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be this 4-card spread that I just did for the collective, and as well that I am to do for each star sign too. Hello, Thea. Welcome to the stream. All right, so first that will be Aries. Let me slap the glyph on the screen. There we go. So we have Aries now. And for Aries, the first card, that will be the 4 of Swords. Followed by the Knights of Pentacles. Moving on, next we do have the High Priestess. And the final one for Aries, that will be the Ace of Wands. The additional card to the Knights of Pentacles, guys, that is to be the Chariot. So Aries, you will have into your surrounding and into your environment a person that will want to take over. We can see that within those couple of cards. Okay, hold on a second. Within those couple of cards, that elemental dignity, passive friends, okay? And it's definitely a person who has a plan and it is already acting on this particular plan to take over. It could be for a couple of reasons. One of them is that in their mind they think that they have a better plan. It's not exactly that they can do better than you, it is just that, you know, their vision and their plan, it's better than yours. So that most likely is going to affect your career. It's not impossible to take into your take place into your love life, but primarily these things takes into career. And the other manifestation of those couple of cards, it's when that person thinks that they are stronger. They think that they are stronger and they can do without you. So that is not just only taking over, but taking over and severing you from the situation itself. They are very methodical, just how you're gonna recognize that individual if you do have an access to them, right? They are very methodical, slow into their action, but it seems that they always kind of like think as a as a chess player, you know, few steps ahead, a few moves ahead as well, and they are very proud of themselves also. So whatever their accomplishment is, if you try to touch it, you know, and to give a criticism, they are not going to be happy about it, right? And probably are going to try to make a stand, not just only try, but they are to make a stand. So that is how you're going to recognize that person. Aside from that, the week is going to revolve around you contemplating, deliberating, and as well planning for a new gainful enterprise which is about to come. So that is something you will learn of, or you already know that is going to happen by the end of the week, and it's more like a preparation, clearing out, you know, the aspects which may interfere, sorting out issues and difficulties that may stand on your way. And whenever that gainful enterprise shows up, you will have now a room or a place at your plate to take it on and to develop it, to manifest it, and to move on forward. That's enterprise most likely is a part of what I mean by that. It's for example, a new project, a new direction in your love life as well, with the same, let's say, means. So that may speak for expansion of your current relationship. It's very unlikely, or rather, like, not unlikely, but it is a seldom manifested in a big way, such as new beginnings, new relationships, or a new job as well. That is more of an opportunity rather than, like I said, a new beginning. That opportunity will allow you to also expand your own personal qualities, like knowledge, skill, and if you will, a self-confidence as well. Jasmine, thank you so much for your $19.99 US. Thank you, Jasmine. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your personalized weekly reading. Let me set you into the list. Thank you. That was Aries. Now moving on, next we do have Taurus. Eight of Swords for Taurus first card, followed by the Three of Cups. Moving on, next we do have the Eight of Cups, and the final one for Taurus, that will be Justice. Well, Taurus, this week is going to be about you proving yourself, guys. What I mean is that your surroundings, right? Whether your social circle, right, friends, or whether colleagues, it could be as well a part of your family, like, just hold on a second. Mattia, thank you so much for your $20 US support. Thank you, Mattia. I will take on your inquiry. Just give me a minute here. Okay. All right. So a week of proving, like I said. This doubt, again, it will come from people that you do share emotions with. So these are not going to be just, if they are coworkers, uh, that means that you are simultaneously a friends with those people, but most likely it will come from friends, family members, a spouse, maybe as well even children. So the thing is that according to these cards, guys, you do not see eye to eye with those people for a couple of reasons. Whether you made an uncharacteristic move of yours, you went for something that these people haven't expected, or just you haven't explained yourself well, why are you doing or whatever you are doing. And at least the initial stage for what those cards are showing, it's not like it didn't went as planned. That's not the point of the card here, the Eight of Cups. It may went according to the plans, but the results were not quite at the bullseye. So there is more to be desired from the situation itself, and that additionally feeds up the doubt, right, and the lack of faith, so to speak, in these people for your personal enterprise and as well a personal endeavor. However, by the end of the week, you are about to prove those individuals wrong and that you know what you are doing. So unlike them, you are gonna either understand, or you are now understanding, that whatever you're striving for, whatever change of plans or change of character or a change of a lifestyle you are doing, or you are about to start doing within the week 6th of February to the 12th of February, that is about you stepping outside of your own personal box, lifting up the bar of expectations, and also taking down self-imposed limitations which are, like said, limiting you up until this point, to just expand your environment and go for more. That's simple. It's as simple as that. And it's because people do not understand that. That is why they, how can I put it into words, they have doubt, and some of them are even scared for you and for your well-being. But by the end of the week, you're going to have everything sorted out. Everything is going to make sense, and now these people will have no other choice but to accept and also probably support, you know, your personal undertakings. That was Taurus. Moving on, next we do have Gemini. Three of Swords for Gemini, followed by the Two of Swords, moving on, next we do have the Fool, and the final one for you guys, that will be the Knight of Cups. So okay. Mattia, thanks for asking. I can't complain, so I guess that's a good state. All right, Gemini, those cards are speaking for a closing window. I mean, it's your points of action, whether into your love life or into your career, it's a bit overdue, and it is kind of like very important that you make your move throughout this particular week. Now that reflects to your personal endeavor. So what is all about? Well, it depends on your personal situations. But according to these cards, this particular week you are going to first, that's obvious, you're going to find out that your window is closing and you have missed the perfect moment, but the things are not beyond the point of no return, so to speak, yet. Okay, they are not yet, but they are about to. So any moment is a perfect moment from now on moving forward. And the other thing, that will happen here is, how can I put it into words? It's like, it's when you say, you know, screw it, I'm doing what I plan to do, and whatever happens, happens. Okay. That is, well, the thing is that this this move or intentions of yours, they are repeating themselves according to these cards, or at the very least, currently that is a situation very reminiscent to something similar that happened in the past, ending up in a colossal failure. And just like, for example, toddlers and also babies, I remember, you know, my niece back in the days. I don't know if we can call it a niece. It's a first cousin of mine. We, in my country, we call it a niece, right? So she was a baby and she was kind of like learning to walk, and we were leaving her to walk from my brother to me in a rather it was a big room, you know, and the center of the room was cleared out, so she was walking. But one day she fell down, and then a whole week she didn't want it to walk. She was just, you know, standing on her feet, holding up for the sofa, and she didn't want it to walk. So that is a reminiscent situation. She's about to do something that she failed before. She doesn't want to do it. While you do have a similar situation, it could be a failure in a project or failure with a person, whatever the case, but reminiscent situation to it, and now you may be afraid that you are going to fail again. Now, we have the Fool here into your third position, Gemini, which means that this time the whole premise, circumstances, means facts completely different from the past. The Fool gives you complete severance from the past itself, even if it is, for example, X, you know, the same person that you have failed before, comes up for more, right? Comes up for another relationship. Or for another try to make a relationship, and you are afraid that, you know, this time things are gonna fall apart again. Well, the situation, the atmosphere, the environment, the whole get-go of the thing will have nothing to do with the past, because that's what the Fool does. It severs the past from the future, right? So you can see it as a completely new relationship, not a continuation of an old one, but a completely new. So that is the main focus here, for you to build up the courage and clear out the thoughts of a failure, right? Clear out the thoughts of of a failure in both cases, whether a closing window or whether reminiscent situation, and just try it out, because that's not a gift. Just make no mistake, that's not a gift. By the Knight of Cups at the end of the spread, that pretty much speaks to all of us, or to all of you Gemini, that if you do want results, you will have to roll up your sleeves and work for them, because they aren't happening on their own accord by a large margin. So if you do like someone and you want results with that person, call them out, right? Call them out on a date, ask them something, just do something to catch their attention, because it's not coming on its own accord. All right, so that was Gemini. Now moving on, next we do have Cancer. King of Cups for Cancer, followed by the Fool. Moving on, next we do have the Eight of Cups, and the final one, that will be the Queen of Cups. Sherry, thank you so much for the $20 support. Thank you, Sherry. At the end of the stream, you're going to have your reading for what the week holds for you. Thank you. All right, Cancer. It's returnal. Is that how you call it? Or a second chance? I don't know how to put it into words, but it is definitely a sequence that we have here. So two ways how the week may open up for you, or how to go forward with. One is that the week is going to be very professional, right? And that will give you the chance to fix something into your career and into your job, in generally into how you are making money here, stabilizing your business, and you know, yeah, the business environment, and in generally the environment that makes you feel secured. Another thing for you, Cancer, is that related to your love life, people may see you rather callous. All people except those that you like. So that will be a complete differentiation, so to speak, in between people that matter and people that don't. I don't know. Mattia, she said that she may not be here tonight. I don't know where she is. News Devon, thank you so much for your 449 British pounds. Thank you. Let me put you into the list. So again, Cancer, people may see you rather callous tonight. Like I said, that is because hold on a second, guys, I messed up something. That is because you're not going to waste your emotional state for those who do not matter at all. And those who stay in the peripheral, which doesn't matter for you, they ain't gonna know, you know, what kind of intentions you do have, and in generally, what do you like and what do you not like. So it will be a very telegraphed emotional behavior and emotional attachment as well from your particular behalf, which is going to be telegraphed and directed toward only the people that you like and that you want to have something to do with. The rest, that doesn't matter at all. They will not gonna see your better part. They're not gonna see any part of you whatsoever, at least not throughout that week, for what those cards are showing. Offer is coming your way throughout the week. Underwhelming at first glance. You know, that will be the problem of the offer. Underwhelming at first glance. But the more you think about it, the more you're going to see its perspective. A long-term perspective. So whenever you are offered, that will fall for all of you, regardless if we're talking about your job or your love life, guys. For all of you, Cancer, a offer is coming. And whenever that comes, you need to look at it in a long-term perspective rather than a immediate results, what the immediate results are gonna give you, because they're not gonna be satisfiable for what those cards are showing. However, the future, the long distant future, holds a much better perspectives for you and for those that are to be involved in the offer itself. Highly advisable to take it. In fact, according to these cards, aside from the initial results, there is gonna be no other reason for you to deny it. Sean, thank you so much for your $20 support. Thank you, Sean. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your personal reading for the week. Right. So that's the first four. Now the first break is to take place, and one of you can have a free reading with me if you all want it, guys. The free reading happens here in public, and all that you gotta do in order to contest for one is just input a question into the comments down below, and I am going to pick one of your questions in about 5 minutes from now and perform a professional reading on that question. Should there be no questions, I'm just going to move to the next 4 star signs. The new moon, I don't know. I'm feeling a bit down. Than usual. Just the hell. I'm feeling a bit down than usual. You know, good things happen to me. It is just I have a really hard time to set my enthusiasm straight. All right, Michelle. That's kind of like optimistic that you are having a date. That you do have one. Right? We're gonna check that one out. This is going to be, Michelle, just so you know, an elemental dignity reading. That's that way we're gonna see pretty much almost everything that happened within them whenever you had a date with that person. I don't know about your Mars energy, Anna. I don't know what is kicking, or for me, probably there is something that it's not just only kicking, it's stomping it down, and just I have a, you know, when you do have those days when you do have a hard time seeing what's the point. Well, that's my state personally. Nothing is wrong, you know, everything is as usual. It's just I'm having a hard time to see what's the point, right? Which it's seldom for me, but it happened few times in my past as well, and I know that it's gonna pass away. It's not something that is gonna linger for the rest of my life, so I just have to powerhouse through it. How many more, Karen? I mean, you had quite of a few since the time we know each other. So how many more? My God. Uh, it's a bit of a long story, Jasmine, but I'm gonna say it, all right, before I move to the next to the next 4 star signs. So, at my 14th birthday, right, that was at my 14th birthday, a book was gifted to me. I'm gonna show you the book, right? The story of the book, it's another long one, but I'm just gonna show you the book right now. It's written in Bulgarian. Or I'm saying it's very old one. It's 25, 20, how many? 1999 print. So that makes it 24 years old. All right, that is the book here. And it's called Success is the Way You Think, right? Or the way you think forges your success. It doesn't have a literal translation in English, right? And so that is the silver method, right? And within this book, it's cramped, not cramped, but gathered, so to speak, all the techniques that they are for the silver method. Because you do have a book about, you know, positive thinking, you do have a book about healing and bunch of other books. While here you do have everything gathered in this print. And, you know, I was messing around with it, and I saw that it was working, right? There was a situation that I used it for, and at the end of that situation, I had tears in my eyes, because I knew that it was working, and oh my God, the power that gives you, right? So I started to mess around with the more advanced technique, and there is a technique there about dream walking. What that means is that you can force a dream to show you something. I used it first because I was playing a video game, and back then there wasn't much of an internet, all right? And there was a puzzle in the video game, and I just couldn't solve it. So I asked, well, I'm gonna ask the dream. And I remember that I dreamt the solution right there, right then. The next morning, I just made it, and it worked. Jesus, right? And then the most advanced technique about the dream walking is to dream something that it is to happen to you. And it worked 3 times, right? 3 times it worked. And I knew that there is a future, right? There is a future which we are meant to experience based on probably whatever actions we do up until this point. Now, the problem, however, was that dream walking is not exactly reliable in a sense to invoke it whenever you want, so because the dream may come after a couple of days or even weeks whenever you start to call for it. So I need another method. So that was the catalyst. Long story short, that was the start of my spiritual journey, the silver method. And then, you know, the story of me watching The Exorcist, and I saw the lady there doing a tarot reading for herself, and that was the moment I knew that's my thing. You know, I want to learn it. I want to know how it works. I want to know how it's done. I want to do it. I want this to be a part of my life, tarot. That was the thing. All right, next we do have Leo. Whoa, Karen. That's a lot. Well, no problem, Jasmine. It's just a bit of a long one, and may bore people. First one for Leo it's Leo, it's your card, the Strength, followed by the Page of Pentacles. Moving on, next we do have the Emperor. And the final one, that is going to be the Lovers. By the way, back then I had a friend who was a, I don't know how you call it in English, but a person who kind of like flirts with, it's just he doesn't let himself be without a woman to flirt with. I don't know, it's not exactly a player because he doesn't play them around. Really wants to be with them, but it is just, you know, if one doesn't kind of like allow him to go forward with her, he just jump into the next one. It's just, there is no single day in the world that that friend of mine was not kind of like entangled or involved in some way with a girl. And he asked me, you know, to dream who is gonna be his next girlfriend, right? Who is she? And I dreamt it, but I dreamt it, I was seeing her with her back against me, so I couldn't see her face a couple of times. But I very vividly remembered when I woke up what she was dressed with. And back then in the company that we were kind of like spending our times with, there was a girl that was pretty much, you know, was liking dressing herself like that. And a couple of months later, they become boyfriend and a girlfriend for a couple of weeks. Okay, but it counts. In my book, it kind of counts. Hello, Rocky. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it is. All right, back to Leo. One additional card to the Page of Pentacles, which is going to be the King of Wands. So, we have a conundrum for you, Leo. Here we do have a conundrum. It's because in your environment, okay, I'm gonna I don't know, it should be Jasmine because it's a translation, right? It should be available. And even there is a English stamp here. There, it says the best. Okay. So, but I don't know how it's called in English. There it is, the English title. Think and Crew Fit. That was the English title, once again. So I hope you find it. All right, a conundrum. It's a conundrum because it's this week is going to be related to a person that you do hold dear to your heart. It's the Page of Pentacles with the King of Wands, so it's whether your bestie, very good friend, or a very good friend of yours, or someone that it is within your family environment. It could be your spouse, a child, you know, or a relative, whatever the case. Now, why is the conundrum? The conundrum is that because you are going to know what you really want. Okay, you will have your goal, you will have your challenge, and you are not going to feel restricted by the approval of others. However, that person is going to be unsure, right? They just will not gonna feel it the way you feel it. And that will, of course, mean that you can't continue together in regards to that target of yours, in regards to that goal. And for you, that is not going to be the problem, right? It's not going to be a problem at all, that you are not going to move on together at the end of the day, even if, you know, you are a family. You have your life, they have their life, and so on and so forth. And at some point, you know, you need to have your own personal things, but that's not gonna that is not how it's gonna stand for them, because you may not know it, but the real problem here is that this individual have devoted this particular part of their life to you. In other words, right now, for them, you are the most important thing in this world. Okay, and separating in that particular regard, not entire separation, but in that particular regard, is something unthinkable for them. It's just they can't fathom it, right? So that is pretty much the conundrum here, and it's not that much of a yours conundrum than theirs conundrum. Other than that, the week, it's very productive for you, Leo. Very productive, especially business-wise. You are pretty much gonna kill it here for what those cards are showing, aside from the Page of Pentacles, those three cards, all right? So the Strength, the Emperor, and the Lovers. By the end of the week, in terms of your business and career, solid results, a very big progression, and that progression is going to be with absence of any predicaments and problems whatsoever. So pretty much the future development of whatever project, business, or a task you are handling right now is going to be pretty clear, and even more than that, you're going to have more than one way to move forward with it, and it will be all based on a personal preference. So there will be no wrong or right decision for you, how to what to do and how to proceed forward with which you're undertaking. A very enthusiastic development for you moving forward within this week, aside from that individual, that it is a conundrum with them, right? Now that I think of, you know, that could be a good friend of yours that now doesn't want to be just friends with you. They may want to have sex with you or be together with you. The problem will be that you do not see it that way, at least at that particular stage, and that's a conundrum. Because the friendship is all, you know, once those intentions are revealed, the friendship is over, period. I mean, you can't pretend that you are friends, but it's pretty much over. All right, so that was Leo. Now moving on, next we do have Virgo. Yeah, Artemis, it's a very powerful tool. But I have a few people that I know, which are friends of mine, that have a trouble reaching out the alpha. You know, the level of the subconscious that this method teaches you to reach. So they have trouble reaching it. I guess not everyone can do it, or for some takes more practice, it takes more initiation than for others. I don't know. But on my first try, I had no problems reaching it at all. Virgo, Six of Pentacles, first one, followed by the Star. Moving on, next we do have Six of Swords. And then it is the Nine of Swords. Well, this is how it stands, guys. that is pretty much the parable. I followed the steps that the book describes, nothing more. But it changes things, yes. It changes you. It changes the way you see things. It changes the way you react to things. Okay? It changes. It basically, you can make yourself not to care. Someone breaks up with you and you just don't give a dime. Right? It's whatever for you. It's you can pretty much, you know, block every negative emotion or negative aspect. Yeah, it's all about the book. Okay, so back to Virgo. That is your parable for the week. If you want something to be done right, you better do it yourself. And if you can do something yourself and you can do it well, you never do it for free. That last part should be your motto, should be your slogan. Because it seems that you are going to be asked for favors a lot. Okay, a lot. And it doesn't look like that people are going to have the awareness and the incentive to repay back those favors, to pay you, so to speak. And you must make sure that, you know, someone has to pay at the end of the day. That will be your challenge, right? That will be the break of your ideals and your standards. Because for what it seems, that week your ideals and your standards are gonna stand on your way, guys, for Libra. Your etiquette, your beliefs are going to be, you know, in your disadvantage, so to speak, your deprivation. So instead, you have to do the unthinkable here and ask to be paid for a change this time around. Whether paid respect, whether paid money, whether paid in service, you know, whether paid in favor, whatever the case. But you have to demand a due. That is what the week is all about. And you will see that the consequences of these demands, of this time around, you want someone to pay for your service or for your attention or for your time, you know, or for your knowledge, whatever it is required from you. The consequences are actually positive ones, not negative consequences that you may thought of up until this point was the case. That is how the that is what your reading is all about. Just to give you one example before I move to Libra. Now imagine that situation that you are in a relationship and kind of like you are giving everything in this relationship to flourish and to be harmonious, while your partner is not like they're doing something bad to you, but it's like, you know, they are careless, they don't do anything, you know, they're just living their life to the full, and the relationship, it is just an addendum to their life rather than a significant part of it. And that will be the week where you will have to, you know, demand a payback for all the effort you do in that relationship from your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. And up until this point you didn't. Why? Because you were afraid that you are going to be left alone after you ask for such a thing. Okay, after you ask that they keep up their part of the relationship together. Well, the consequences of your demand are going to be far different from your expectations, which means that your fear of being left alone, it's in vain. And even if it happens that you are left alone, the first thought of yours after, you know, the whole fiasco happened is going to be, thank God that person is out of my life. for I saw it for who they are. I saw them for who they are. Right, that was Virgo. Now moving on, next we do have Libra. But yeah, one thing about the book. A year or a year and a half after that book was gifted to me, I gave it to someone that I considered a friend back in the days. And it disappeared, all right? The book disappeared. I asked for it. They told me that they returned it back to me. I was pretty sure that they didn't, but you know, it's just, you have no way to prove it. So the book vanished. And when I came to the capital and now I had my own finances in my own life, I decided I'm going to find it again. The problem, it was only one print and only about 3,000 copies or something like that. I even called the printing house and they told me about the print and, you know, the copies, and that's that, right? So it's a pretty rare one. And I was searching for about 5 or 6 years, I don't remember. And one day I found it. A guy who was kind of like selling out all his aunt's library. His aunt passed away. She kind of like willed him everything. And I guess that guy didn't read much because he was selling all of the library his aunt had. And there it was. For $7 freaking. And that's the moment I called him and I said, I'm going to give you 20. Man, I'm gonna give you 20 just because, you know, you have it, right? And that was the moment I thought how accurate it is, man. One man's trash, it's another man's treasure, I guess. So, Libra. First one, we do have Temperance, followed by the Queen of Swords. Moving on, next we do have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, it should be that. It could be just a typo there, but I think it is. I thought it is either grow fit or crew fit, one of the two, right? But probably it's a typo. But it should be that. Think and grow fit. Two additional cards for you, Libra, to the Queen of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups. Okay. And to the Queen of Wands, we do have the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, a second. Ten of Pentacles. So it's a week of a choice. Which individual or organization to move forward with. Which job to take, for example, or which person to be with, for example. It's a choice to make here. Whom to listen, let's put it that way. Now, one of the individuals, that person, they know how to make things work. So how you're gonna recognize that individual, it is that they're never pleased, okay? Whenever the results are in their mind, it always can be better, it always can be more, right? Never satisfied. No matter the challenge, no matter the complexity, the difficulty of the enterprise, they can always push things through. And that's what they are. They're pushovers, they're bullies, they are harbinger of destruction. It's just whenever they have something in their way, they destroy it, they annihilate it without even giving a second thought into what that could cause to other people, to other businesses, to other relationships. The other individual, that is the Queen of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, that is the other individual. The first one was the Queen of Swords with the Ten of Cups. We have the Queen of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles here. So that one, it's more of a pointer. They point and tell you what to do, and you do it and things work out. So that is someone more like a leader, or rather like more like a boss than a leader. The first one, leader, they are in the midst of action. You know, if that's a battle, for example, if it is a war, they're going to be the knight that stands at the front of the vanguard, slaying everyone. It's a freaking Sauron, all right? If you watched Lord of the Rings, it's a freaking Sauron, kind of like macing out a half of an army one direction, the other half of the other. So while this one, it's more like Elrond, who was standing behind the lines shouting, you know, commands, and it's just his army was kind of like making things working out, all right? So what's the difference in between those two? Well, the first one, which is the leader, it kind of like it brute forces the solution. It brute forces the progress, while the boss, which is the Queen of Wands, knows, right? They just understand the core of the situation. They understand where the problems may come from, right? They do understand how to make things happen without too much of a noise, without too much of a unnecessary, let's say, tackle. So which one you should go with? Well, that depends on your preferences. The cards have a guidance for you, right, if you want to listen to it, and that is to go for the boss rather than for the leader. This time around, it seems that the boss will do better job, and it will produce painless results, or more painless results, than the leader itself. Either way, though, it seems that you are going to reach your goal, which whichever one you side, your goal is there. Your goal is, it will be reached. And at least for you, there will be no calamity. Now, that is guaranteed. Even if you go for the leader here, okay, which is kind of like brute forcing everything, there will be no calamity for you. That is pretty much guaranteed by the temperance, right? And by the end of the week, it seems that whichever one you decide to go with, you will have a lot of growthful enterprises and undertakings at your behalf to look forward to nurture and to handle as well. Long story short, you are going to have enough on your plate for you to think of any new endeavor that you may wanna produce for the future, at least at that point. All right, and next one, that will be Scorpio. Rocky, thank you so much for your 27.99 Canadian. Thank you, Rocky. By the way, Mattia, can you see which year the book is from? Three of Cups. Followed by Four of Swords. Afterwards, we have the Moon. And the final one is going to be the Seven of Wands for Scorpio. Give me a second. It's the right one. It is the right one. In fact, if you plan to purchase one, take one for me as well. I will pay for everything, shipment, delivery, etc. Because if I try to purchase it from here, they will use the posts, and as Anna knows, our post services here in Bulgaria are not the most reliable institution. In fact, very unreliable. Thank you, Mattia. All right, Scorpio. It's quite of a... I don't know how to take it. Now, those cards are saying that people are gonna flock to us. $1937? What is that? So people are gonna flock to us because of it looks like a religious cult. Truth be told, it's just people are gonna believe in us. All right, people are gonna believe in us, and they are going to place their trust in our hands for our vision for the future and what we are to transpire, what we are to convey. It's going to be what they want to see and what they want to learn. Simple as that. Yeah, this one here, it's 1999, but that's probably when it was on the Bulgarian market, right? When it was printed on the Bulgarian market. So if it was published after 1999, I would have told you that's not the right book, but it is the right book. Well, that's great, Jasmine. Enjoy. It will change your life, I can guarantee you that. But you have to be very consistent. At the start, there is a 40-day of initiation, all right, into the silver method, and you have to follow it by the book. Otherwise, things are not going to work out, right? So you have to follow it. $40-day of initiation. So it will, for a Scorpio, it will be a great week for you guys to gather up, for example, followers, to gather up allies, to make friends. I don't know, to establish a school, for example, or to make a course of a thing you wanna teach people about. So it's a good week. I like to build up a fellowship or a fellowship here. Now into a more specific case, you know, because people mainly concerned with business and with a love life. Those cards in terms of a love life, they do speak that you and, you know, your spouse are gonna see eye to eye. It's like you are not going to know why you are thinking of that direction. For example, marrying or purchasing a house, moving in together, and so on and so forth. It's just a step getting closer, a step improving or pushing the relationship forward. And at that point it will seem random, it will seem spontaneous, but it is not. Okay, that's the core here. It is not random, it's not spontaneous. Same thing about that business as well. So whatever comes up in your mind, or whatever action the universe asks you to do, believe in it. All right, believe in the universe itself. For throughout the week, Scorpio, not everything is gonna be clear for us. Okay, and that is because we are not meant to change what is coming or where we are heading to. We are not meant to change the path. That's why we're not going to see the circumstances surrounding it. Another thing it is that we may feel fuzzy. That is like, you know, the opposite of the anxiety. It is like you do have a your emotions are not steady, but you are not anxious. You are actually kind of like expecting something good to happen. Like, kind of like you feel that something good is about to happen, and that's how it's going to take place. Anna, thank you so much for your $20 support. Thank you, Anna. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your reading. Right, now if any of you wants to have a free reading with me, now is the moment to ask a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do so, and if there are no questions, I'm just going to move on to the next for star signs. If there are any questions, I'm just going to pick one and perform a professional reading on it. But yeah, it's a 40-day initiation, because once you are in this state, whatever you think about, it's let's say it switches you into that direction. For example, if you think about a person in a very sad way, you are going to be sad all day thinking about that person. All right, so the first 40 days of initiation, it's kind of like they don't tell you, but they teach you how to control your mind when you are into the it's called alpha level, right? Well, once you go through the initiation, it's about 5 to 10 minutes every day. Otherwise, due the initiation, it could be a lot more. It could go to half an hour, and you gotta do it once you wake up. That is the window, right? You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you know, you do your thing, and then go back to bed and do the exercise, the initiation exercise. But with every day, it gets less and less. but it's gonna grow tempting, you know, to see the techniques after they how can I put it into words, which are meant for you to do once you are done with the initiation, right? It will be tempting to try them out before you're ready. Don't do it. The best is that it's not gonna work. Almost automatic process. Yeah, almost automatic process. You can do it automatically in a vivid state like I'm right now, but it doesn't have that strong effect if you do it manually, so to speak. But it's good enough to get you through certain states or situations. All right, so original Shemaya has a question. Do I have a blind spot? I take it that you are asking, do you have a weakness that this person can exploit? So let's check it out. Here we look for enemies or neutrals, elemental dignity. It takes a lot of discipline, yes. It takes a lot of discipline to initiate yourself into it. After that, you know, you can do it whenever you need, but the initiation takes a discipline, true. It's 40 days every day. Yes, you do. Those are the cards. This is the blind spot, the weakness. Okay. The weakness in that is that your conviction. Okay. Once you are convinced in something, there is no changing your mind. And they may try to play around with it, okay, to convince you into, for example, that you like them, or that you want to do something with them, or that it is a good thing to do, you know, and once you are convinced, it happens, right? That is your blind spot. So best thing for you to do in order to negate that is whenever you have to make a decision about that person, to go out with them, or, you know, I don't know, to fulfill a fetish of theirs, for a lack of better words, give yourself a day or two to think about it, instead of rendering your decision right away. Hey, Pisces Moonbeam, just in time. Karen gifted you a super chat. Not that is just the tip of the iceberg, Jasmine. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Let me give you my first experience once I was done with the initiation. All right. Here in my country, we play soccer a lot. We suck at soccer. I mean, our professional teams are terrible at soccer, but that is the preferred game of children. We go and play soccer. And by the way, here is called football, right? Go in England and call it soccer, and you may end up being beaten in some kind of a corner. That's besides the point. Here in Europe, we call it football, right? So we played it. And we have played it about 3 to 4 times a week. You know, every other day we do play football. and I sucked at football. That was just not my thing. I loved volleyball, right? I loved basketball. I could have played basketball as well. Football, not much. It seems that I had two left legs rather than one right one. And I thought that's gonna be my first thing. I will try to use it to play football better. And the result was something I couldn't believe. That was the best game that I ever had. All right, it was just these people that I played with, because usually when we kind of like select the teams, the two best players are selecting who they want to play with, and I was always the last guy taken, right? I was just always the last guy taken, and I was just the filler. They were putting me in a place at the field that it's just nothing is happening there, and I was just, you know, if the ball comes to me, I just had to shoot it somewhere. That was my role. But at that time, I couldn't believe I was the goal scorer. It's just I scored the most goals, I saved the most situations. It was just, it blew my mind, not just only my mind, but everyone's minds. Okay, so that's just only the tip of the iceberg. You can learn faster, you can perform better. It's just you become a different person with it. One warning though, if you do use it to suppress bad feelings, like for example, you had a headache, you went through a breakup, and you want to suppress the feeling of loss. You suppress it by extinguishing the feeling of love. That is how you do suppress it, because that's the problem. You don't have the source of love, so you have to suppress the feeling of love. And that suppresses it all. I mean, you not only toward that person, but to everyone. Okay, so you stop caring about the love in your life. So that's something you gotta be careful about. All right, next, Sagittarius. Let me check on your question first, Pisces Moonbeam. What I need to know, Pisces Moonbeam, is that is the wish beneficial for you or not? Yes, Tammy, you are. The World for Sagittarius, followed by the Nine of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Knight of Wands. And the final one, that is going to be the Seven of Cups. You think or you're sure? I need to know for sure. Just type me what's the target. I need to know what's the target here, so I can answer you definitively with it. So for Sagittarius, that's it will feel like a bad week, right? It will feel like a week that needs to go into the dumpster of history. All right, yeah, sure. That is because within this week, a source of happiness, it's gonna go away. All right, and that source of happiness is gonna play out. Um, no. I mean the subject's target, not yours target. The subject's target. What is it? So how could play out? I need to give you an examples, right? So, for example, that could be the week where your child decides to move from the house and start doing or living their own life, right? That could be the week where one project ends up successful, that is, and now you gotta think of to do something else, to seek for another client, okay, to look for another job if you are a freelancer, and so on and so forth. So it's not a bad ending. It is just an ending that you would wish to have a little bit more time in it. Okay, it's something that you um, got yourself attached to, and that's totally fine. But within this week, Sagittarius, it will be important that you do have your eyes set on the future rather than on the current, rather than on the present, rather than on the past as well. And once you do so, there are going to be a numerous new enterprises, a numerous new perspectives for you to involve yourself into. And the additional card is the death with the Knight of Wands, right? So you definitely know that person here, and that's a person who proposed you something back in the days, saying, hey, you know what, I have that great idea here, and do you want to help me out with it? Do you want to be a partner with me into it? Do you want us together to move forward? And at that time, you already had something to tackle, right? At that time, you already had your thing, but not anymore. And now the offer, or rather like the enterprise, is still on the table. Highly advisable for you to take it. Taking it or not taking it, the future looks beneficial, for a lack of better words. The future looks productive for you, but taking it, you are going to have the start or the initiation into that productive future sooner rather than later. And also, it may be for many of you, or for most of you, not for all, but for most of you guys, that future, that new perspective which you are going to have your eyes set on, it may look fallacious, for a lack of better word, celluloid maybe as well, meaning that it's a bit hard for you to believe that that's possible. It is possible. However, even though it looks distant for now, and like I said, almost impossible, it's very important to start with small steps. I mean, if you want, input that somewhere in a diary of yours or in a sheet of paper, whatever the case, but it's very important to start small, and brick by brick, you are going to build your new castle steadily and certainly as well. All right. So the Sens start talking finally, eh? I told you that's gonna happen if you leave the situation, no other choice moving forward. It's either going to be make or break. Capricorn next. So now it's up to you to make the big move, eh? The time you waited for. King of Cups. Hey, Nicole. Two of Cups. Eight of Wands. The Emperor. First of all, guys, that's not a good week to make friends or to make compromises for what those cards are showing. That week, if you are about to go for something, either is going to be your way or is going to be the highway, whether it is because you do have leverage, whether it is because you do have something better to hang on to if, you know, the situation doesn't develop your way. But the thing is that throughout this week, the whole situation will be involved with another individual or organization. Notice there are going to be people involved in there, and depending on how things stands in between you and those people will define how susceptible, okay, the situation is going to end up for you to handle. Now, for some, it's going to be a piece of cake. For others, it's going to be a freaking chaos. But bottom line is that the target of yours, it should be that the situation needs to be set up in a way that it will be easy and passable for you to handle, manage, and sort it out. Because make no mistake, at the end, all is going to hang on your shoulders to drive forward. And if that's the case, then you want to have it the way you need it. Otherwise, it will be an agony, it will be a nightmare, it will be very, very difficult for you. So that's the week where you have to present yourself the leader. That's the week where you have to present yourself strong, and that you know what you want, you know how you want it, and you know why you want it as well. And if it's not going to be what you want, then it's better not to be at all. Now, this could manifest through a new offer, through a proposal. It could manifest as well through a helping hand, okay? But if the one who is to help you should know that it is the one who is to follow as well, not the one who is going to give direction, not the one who is going to say how things should be done. Other than that, the week offers you many ways how you can handle your situations. Some of those ways productive, others pure trap. But you will have a keen eye to see, you know, which is going to work out for you and which doesn't. So it will be important that you do believe in yourself and into your own personal capabilities. At your work, the situation could be a bit more volatile than usual, meaning that it's just suppressed conflicts are going to erupt throughout the week, but it's not going to be a big deal for you, at least at that stage. You can just simply ignore them, and they are going to bypass you and walk away. That's not going to be conflict who are personally targeted at you. These are just conflicts that affects everyone. Okay, for example, your boss has a conflict with your supervisor that affects you, right? No matter what, that affects you. Long story short, by the end of the week, you must have a job or a situation which is completely manageable by you. Should there be any aspects of it which you don't have a say to, though, that's a bad thing then. All right, so next we do have Aquarius. Good night, Karen. Thank you so much for the super chats. Four of Pentacles. Moving next, we do have the Seven of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords, and the final one is going to be the Knight of Pentacles. By the way, that's it's like I'm doing myself a personal reading with those cards. With Scorpio as well, but these are more speaking more. So it does look like that this is going to be a week where we are, I'm saying we because I'm rising Aquarius, we are going to realize the waste. So bottom line, according to that card, it is that we are wasting money, time, efforts, emotions, whatever the case. And that waste, it's undermining the sense of security. Basically, we have everything needed to ensure our future, whether into career or whether into our love life, but because we are wasting a resource, this is undermining the security of that particular future, and we are going to see what exactly the waste is. We may be wasting our time being a friend with someone. We may be wasting our time trying to push a project, or we're wasting our time being lazy, you know, or entertaining ourselves, whatever the case. Okay, there will be some kind of a waste. It will become pretty obvious. That is pretty much guaranteed here by the Two of Swords. As the week progresses, it's just we will see what does not deserve our investment, whether the investment of time or of money, whatever the case. And once that is obvious, it will be important that we do restructure our plans and not involving it into those plans. So basically, by the end of the week, the result of all that, it's going to be that from there on moving forward, we are going to have a pretty solid pattern in our mind, sequence of actions, sequence of choices, of decision makings, which are going to produce solid, indomitable, strong results, and is going to be advance a one step at the time. So once we do recognize the waste, right, and we stop it, we basically sap the waste out, things are going to become so simple, very, very simple, and very promising as well. Another thing it is that well, Tammy, that makes two of us. I can guarantee you that that pretty much makes two of us. Funny thing it is that today a friend of mine told me you're working quite a lot, and I said, what planet are you living at? Jesus, if you are saying that to me, I can only imagine what your state is. Well, I don't know what kind of impression I'm giving to people, but that's the last thing I'm doing a lot. Anyway, at the end of the week, like I said, pretty consistent drive forward. Things are to be simple, and yeah, if you have some kind of a decision that you will have to make and you are baffled by it, it's like you don't know which way you should go forward with, it will become pretty obvious throughout the week. So rest assured, you will have the necessary means, information, and not proof, but facts to render your accurate judgment of what path you should move forward with. For example, which job you should take, which client you should satisfy, which person you should make a relationship with. That is just for example. All right, and last but not least, from the 12th, we do have Pisces, or how to move forward about a certain situation. Likewise, Tammy. Four of Cups with 10 of Cups. 3 of Wands. A High Priestess. There is only one way how we can go about that reading, and it is a sign, right? It's like a traffic sign, which says rather than stop, it says you're ready. You can move forward. So basically this reading shows here that that will be the week where you will find your pattern solid. You will find your foundation solid. You will find no more room for growth or no more reason for a growth in the given stage. Not in the enterprise, all right, but in the giving stage of the enterprise. So what needs to be the next move of yours? Well, you have to request for more from the enterprise itself and step into so-called the next level. Step into the next, not the next level, the next phase of it. Okay. So that will be the week where you will, for example, have to go to your boss and ask for, you know, more tasks, more responsibilities, and reciprocally bigger pay. Or you have to address your boyfriend or a girlfriend that, you know, you have to think of for advance in the relationship in a certain way. Basically, this reading shows here that in the given stage of your enterprises as well, or life in general, that's the maximum you can go for. And now that side of your nature that needs to want for more has to kick in, all right? And requests for more results, for different and more results, and they shall be given, or at least the opportunity for getting them shall be given, and that will extend the longevity of your enterprise even further, meaning that it's going to extend your job even further, is going to extend the duration of your relationship even more, and so on and so forth, and above everything else is going to kill the boredom. Right, so if you find your day-to-day routine monotonous, that will be the week where this ends. But it falls on you. You have to get the mindset that you want more, you need more, you are gonna go for more, and you have to challenge yourself to do so. All right, that was Pisces. Oh, and one last thing, guys. It's highly likely that your expectations for the week, all of them fulfilled. All right, now the last free reading now. Rocky, I will include your question in it as well, because you do have a question in the last one, but I already picked one once yours arrived. So that question will be included. What should I know about my upcoming meeting in the next 7 days? Please. Is it a business meeting or a relationship meeting? I need to know that, because Tarot reads differently if it is about business or if it is about relationship. So tell me just that, and I'll be good to answer should it be picked. You can always, if it is not, you can always choose that question to be involved in your super chat. Have a great one, Tammy. Oops, forgot to put the rundown time. So if you do have any questions, guys, for a free reading, now is the moment to ask. If not, I'm going to move on to the super chat readings afterwards. We do have one question, which is the Rocky's question, and that is the result of the upcoming meeting. But I asked if that meeting is going to be with a relationship incentive or a business incentive. I need to know because Tarot reads differently for either. Well, Jen, yeah, that sometimes it doesn't work, the notification, but in any case, you can always watch it on the record. Your sun, moon, and also rising sign. And as Pisces Moonbeam is here, I think that she must be the one who is to pick the question. Oh, Pisces Moonbeam, you can pick a question. We do have one submitted by Rocky. I'm gonna paste it here. Oh, it is business. Okay. So that one, Pisces Moonbeam, and we do have one who is submitted by Michelle. Okay, you pick Rocky. Everything is business, eh? Yeah. Right, so you pick Rocky. All right. Let's check it out then. A business meeting, what you can expect. Right, Rocky. Those are your cards here. Are quite complicated. Now, on the surface, most likely you are to get the job. All right. Or the very least, a promise that the job is gonna happen, which is gonna happen, right? However, this is where the real problem lies. Those two cards. These speaks for exploits, meaning that you may be exploited without you even knowing it, right? The job may cost more and you may agree for less just because you don't know how much the job costs or how much that person is in need, or the firm or the company or whatever the case, right? And the job may come on a later stages because of the hold on a second, that elemental dignity here, the Eight of Pentacles with the Page of Wands. That is because while the target, or how can I put it into words, the aim, the reason it's there, yet the, how can I put it into words, yet the soil, the environment may not be quite there yet. Okay, may not be right, and for that it could be a waiting period of your behalf. For example, you know, you may be interviewed. I don't know what the meeting is all about, but you may be interviewed for a place which is yet occupied, and that person is working in notice, so you will have to wait a month or two, right? Something like this. Or you may be interviewed for a place that it is not opened yet, but the company has a plans to open it. So basically, the person which you have a meeting with has a very good plan, but not the circumstances yet to exert the plan fully. That is something you need to be aware of. And the other thing is, again, the breach of worth. And the cross of boundaries, like you will be requested more for less payment, unless you do not raise the issue right away. So be careful how much you ask for your services, because you are going to be held accountable to it no matter what. All right, that was the free reading, and now the super chat readings. First is mine. So let's see what we have. Oh, these things happens. Pisces Moonbeam. What in the world? Hmm. Well, I don't know then which one those cards are referring to, but one of them, the more significant one probably, is gonna go that road. Those are my cards. No, no, no. I said that these things happen. That sometimes you just can't, you know, do whatever you had planned. So you shouldn't be sad that you couldn't be for the entire life. Doesn't make much sense to me. Very curious to know how this will develop, but uh these cards says that there will be a delays for acquisition of a home, but I don't have incentive. I don't have a plan to acquire one. Very weird. Is that your super chat question, Sean? All right. Let me put it in. No, that's not how it works. I mean, you can have only one topic in a reading. So which one do you want it to be? The general one or the question? All right. All right, Pisces Moonbeam, your question. Let me check it out again. Yes, the subject really wants what the subject states. You can't have any better proof than that. Maybe the world would have been a bit of a better card because the world is gonna look the subject right into it, meaning that's incentive will not change no matter what. Here is changeable, but for now, thou wish what I say. News Devon, your week. It's a really good one. We have the Six of Wands. Well, yeah, I mean, Ace of Cups has nothing to do with actions. Well, Sean, is it not every business that way? It's, if business isn't that way, I mean, you know, for example, if the IRC starts digging, no matter how much you try to be by the law, they are always gonna find something, right? That was not by the law. It's just every business by default is like that. Even the government business, because the laws are not perfect. It's just that's the reason. The laws are not perfect. There are loopholes. There are lines which are open for interpretation. So, but I'm gonna read for it. Yes. So News Devon, that's gonna be a week of rewards and satisfaction. A lot of nice experience on your behalf. Not conquest, but results, right? So I don't know what kind of a targets you do have for the week or plans, but it seems that if not completely fulfilled, there is going to be a very solid progression in the direction you want for the week itself. And also it's very likely that you will be helped should you need one, and also you will be appreciated for your efforts in the business and as well the intimate front as well, if you are making efforts in the intimate front. By the way, if you are making efforts in the intimate front, you may expect quite of let's say passionate experiences. All right, next we do have Jasmine. And I will give you the conundrum we do have here with the Eurozone, right? Because we are set to adopt the Euro currency 2024, right? Bulgaria to adopt the Euro currency. But currently it's a referendum. It's gathering in a defense of our national currency, the BGN, right? So here is the conundrum. According to the law, once a responsibility or obligation is taken toward the European Union, it does not fall under the influence of any further decisions, meaning that once signed, you gotta do it, period. However, the Constitution says that the final word has the people. The people has the final word. So, according to the law, the referendum will be unlawful, but according to the Constitution, the sign of the paper was unlawful because the nation did not spoke about it. Just the person who was on the head of a ministry said, yep, we're gonna do it, right? Not the people. So, which is which, right? It's a conundrum, and probably the vote of the referendum, because the referendum is happening, The vote is going to be in a defense of the BGN. So I don't know what's going to happen then. And I'm going to vote for yes for the BGN as well. That will be my vote. I don't want the euro. What platform you are playing the Call of Duty, man? It's a video game, Pisces Moonbeam. Yeah, it's Call of Duty. It's one of the biggest first-person shooters that is out there on the market. All right, Jasmine, 10 of Cups. Xbox. I don't play that one. Is it in the Game Pass, Sean? Ace of Cups. The Page of Swords. And the Three of Wands. The additional card to the Page of Swords is going to be the Eight of Pentacles. So Jasmine, it's throughout the week. You have your eyes open. Which is going to be very sobering for what those cards are showing, and also a bit unpleasant as well, just a tiny bit. Why is going to be a bit unpleasant? Well, it is because when your eyes go open, kind of like you won't be able to find yourself being satisfied anymore. Okay, it's just in your mind always is going to be the bigger development, so to speak. Just to give you an example, say a friend of yours gives you the idea that you can be more than friends, okay? And while up until this point the friendship was satisfying for you, now knowing that this could be more is gonna clear out the incentive, the friendship to be satisfied. So simultaneously, this week is going to be a breakthrough, and in the same time unplanned. It's not like unwanted, but rather unplanned breakthrough. It could be the same thing that, you know, I don't know what you're working. I'm giving you just examples here just to make clear what type of a situation to expect. I don't know what you're working, but let's say you are doing a work for a client and it is a consecutive work, you know, it's a continuous one. So it's the same order every time. But now the client approaches you and tells you, you know what, screw that order. These are just the cheap changes. I have something real for you. And they give you what's real. And you got yourself flabbergasted because you weren't ready to divulge, or rather like to digest. I'm sorry, not to divulge, but to digest that new project. And that will be the tiny bit of irritation throughout the week itself. And it all comes to a mindset, Jasmine. It's very important to think big, right? It's very important to think big, and no matter the challenge, because it's going to be challenging, right? Challenging in a sense of that you have to play bigger, you have to step bigger, you gotta be bigger. So no matter the challenge, according to the cards, you do have all the means to handle it, and to handle it not with ease, but with subtlety, with finesse, with expertise, so to speak. And the whole thing is gonna seed up an expectations, which all of them can become true. So that is the week 8. Promising development, promising unfoldment, promising expansion. That is gonna catch you a bit with your pants down, right? Meaning that you didn't saw it coming, a bit blindsided, but nonetheless it's gonna be a good development here. Even a bit of a conflict could emerge from it, confronting the person. Well, you couldn't with the phrase, for example, could you choose a worse moment than this one, right? Because I am not a bit ready. All right, so that was your reading, Jasmine. Moving on, next we do have Mattia. So Mattia, lunch with your son. So what you should expect from that lunch? Well, your son is gonna want something. We do have those cards. They have it's not even an idea. It's more like so we do have the strength. It will be strength, the King of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. So your son wants to do something. That's not even an idea. It's more like an ambition. And they will ask for your support. More like not for your support, but I would say the lack of your involvement. Because for them, it's not a matter of are you gonna support them or not. For them, it's the matter of you should not stand in their way. No different than, if they want to marry someone, they will not care if you do approve it or not. They will just not want you to make a scene. That is just for example, Mattia. So they do have some kind of a very strong ambition here, and they are just about your son. Is just about to put it into motion. They will divulge your son. He is going to divulge literally everything, gonna tell you everything about it. And he wouldn't care if you agree with that idea, with that ambition or not. He will just want you to not to be on his path. Of course, if you do decide to help, that would be even best, right? But that is pretty much what you should expect. At the start, you may agree or disagree. That's regardless the guidance of the card. It is to maintain your neutrality. Very, very important here. Okay, do not kind of like get yourself too excited about it, nor too indifferent. Just be neutral, be normal about the subject or the topic of the lunch. That is the primary cause, but the secondary one is just your son wants to have a good time with you. Okay, that's the secondary one, and it comes from those cards. Other than that, he does have a very important information to give you, and that will be the main subject of the lunch itself. Sherry, let's check your week now. Give me a minute, Sherry. Sherry, I need to ask you that. Is there a mess that you gotta clean up? Those are your cards. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords. The Magician. Always a mess. The Ace of Swords. And the Eight of Pentacles. So that's like cleaning up before the actual entree, right? You know, probably you had those situation. You had a boyfriend coming over, and the day before your boyfriend come over and have a good time with you, you kind of like clean up your room or your house or whatever, so you do make a good impression and actually set up the environment just so right so you can have a good time. Well, that is the nature of this one. It's no matter if it is about a project, business project, or intimate, you know, enterprise or whatever. That will be a week where you have to clean up the space. You gotta clean up the environment from shenanigans, from things which can make you a victim of the circumstances, for example, just so you have it right whenever the enterprise is ready you to make an initiation to it. So it's a cleaning up a mess here. There is a guidance within the cards, and that is not to show what you are capable of right off the get-go. I don't know what they are referring to here, okay, but you may scare people off. Another thing it is that from within the week, what will be required from you is to take some unorthodox actions, unorthodox moves that you may find yourself being reluctant to do. But alas, when you think about it, you will see no other way around it. So our moves, if you want things to work out, if you want things to happen, those are the moves and the decisions, for example, that you will have to take. Also, there will be an incentive for you to speak true, to speak plainly with those involved with your situations. For example, with Sean, that is just for example, but also with your business partners, colleagues, friends, etc., etc. Many of them are not going to like it, but you are going to present it in such a way that it will be undeniable, which, by the way, is going to play in your favor, because that way you will be able to unite people under the common cause. So if you do hope to build up a team, it's a week where you will be able to do so. But by the end of the week, although you know the week itself will be a bit stressful at your behalf, walking on a fine line, the way Sean expressed himself, by the end of the week you're going to have all of the aspects of your enterprises sorted out and ready to set into motion whenever the time comes right. So basically you are going to have all the preparations done, all the planning done, and only the correct moment or the right moment for initiation needs to come about, and it will in the upcoming weeks, just not in this one. So it's about cleaning up a mess, it's about clearing out space so you can have a unobstructed drive afterwards, so to speak. All right, Sean, business opportunity, will you regret it? Let's check it out. You're welcome, Sherry. Uh, Sean, those are the cards. Not in a legal perspective, no. Which is your concern. Another should be your concern, and that is the one that you are going to work for. Basically, you may be entering with the incentive, you know, that that's a friend of yours and it will have a, let's put it that way, a special treatment. You are his employee and you may think that, you know, he's going to address you more like an equal, more like a friend, which is not going to be the case. He's going to bust your ass for what those cards are showing. Definitely he's going to make you work for your money. That's most definitely. However, the opportunity itself holds a lot of potential. I mean, you can truly improve and expand into it. And how can I put it into words? You can make that opportunity a stepping stone afterwards to start your own thing, okay, on that particular basis. I don't know what the opportunity is about, but think it that way. Say it deals with certain clients. Later on, those clients may want to work with you rather than your friends, and rather than your friend, and that will give you the incentive to start your own thing. It's a good opportunity. You just have to take it as a job rather than, you know, a friendship endeavor. It is a really good opportunity, according to those cards, though. Nothing comes about a legal issues here. Well, just saying, okay, because you may expect nothing less, but it's gonna be more than your expectation. But it's a good opportunity. You can, yeah, you can make a lot of money there as well. But you will have to work for every single freaking penny from what you are taking. But the how can I put it into words? The bar of how much money, at least for now, you can make, at least for now, is not set. All right, next we have Rocky. You're welcome, Sean. Oh, and one last thing, Sean. It will be very important that you set the boundaries at the start. What I mean is that you make it clear to that individual that, you know, they hire you for a certain services and they do not mess around with those services, meaning they do not tell you how to do your job, because otherwise they are going to breathe in your neck, right, and tell you how to do your job, how to do this and this, and when things fail, guess who is going to be held accountable for that? You. So make it clear that if you are to be hired, and say you are hired to plan, they do not get themselves involved with the planning. Rocky, Knight of Wands, followed by the Three of Pentacles, Five of Swords, again that Five of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. So Rocky, good thing about those cards is that within this week you're gonna definitely know your price. That is pretty much given. And also the week itself is gonna present to you few enterprises, which I know now that you will have 2 job interviews. But these enterprises does not restrict with those 2 job interviews. Okay, more things are to come there that you can involve yourself into them. And also it will be up for you to decide which of them you want to involve yourself with. So first, there will be more than you can handle, and second, you cannot have them all. Some are going to exclude the others, right? So that's one thing. The other, however, is that it's going to be free for all. I don't know how other way to say it. It's going to be pretty much free for all. If we give, for example, the job interviews, every single one of them, it's meant to milk you for all you got. So it's best for you to set up your conditions in a way that you milk the company for all it's got as well, or the person who is offering you job for all he or she got as well. So that is the 3 of Pentacles into the second position here, free for all. Everybody is aiming to fulfill their own targets and expectations on the expense of others. But that doesn't mean that you can't be mutually expensive, right? They can fulfill their target on your expenses, and simultaneously you can expend them as well for your targets too. Bottom line is that by the end of the week here, you are going to get the hang of it and understand what you stand against, which will require from you to change not your beliefs, but more like your plans. I do apologize for that. Not your beliefs, but your plans, and also your intentions, which after the negotiations, after the appearance of those enterprising events, will be outdated and will be in effect no longer. So you will have to learn to live into the new environment, into the new circumstances, which will be easy for you, and the only way you will not gonna be able to do so if you are stubborn. So are the jobs good? Yes, but you must sign in with the mindset that you are there for yourself, and as soon as you know things start getting not in your favor, you know, you should start looking for another one, or do things in a way that is going to suit you best. So it's a week where the mainly concern of yours should be how you are going to get on top instead of how to help, because your help is not going to be appreciated. All right, that was yours, Rocky. And last but not least, we do have Anna. Page of Cups, Anna. Followed by the Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles, the Death. Last minute reversal is what the week offers you, or is gonna set you up in. Give me a minute to find the best words to describe it here. Yes, News Devon, yours was done. You had the Six of Wands. I remember that very well. You had the Six of Wands. Yours was done. Yours is at the start of the super chat. First I did mine, then Pisces Moonbeam, then yours, then went to Jasmine. So Anna, here how it stands. A new circumstances or a new incentive is gonna show up, which you will like. What I mean is that the incentive in itself, as a result, it will be something you would very much love. However, the whole incentive will require from you to make changes with yourself, with your day-to-day routine, with the way how you do things around. It will require from you to step outside of your already established patterns in a certain way. It will require from you to reassess yourself, your position, your view as well, mainly things which makes you the person you are. And that will be something you will not gonna like. So the incentive itself, the results, the looming change on the horizon, it will be great, but you will have to adapt to it. Thank you, Karen. I'm gonna draw your card in a minute. You will have to adapt to it, and most likely involves letting go of something. For example, say that you do have a love interest and that person really wants to be with you, and they tells you, look, I really want to be with you, I love you, but it is just you smoking. It's something I just can't look past it. So if we are to be together, you gotta quit smoking, okay? And smoking, only smokers will understand, that's a big part of ourselves, okay? I just can't live without that. I'm not the same person. If I quit smoking, I'm gonna quit coffee, I'm gonna quit my morning routine, because it revolves around smoking. When I wake up at the morning, first thing that I think of is the coffee with me smoking. That is one of the best things that, you know, a smoker have in their lives. Coffee with the cigarette, or with, you know, the vape or whatever you use. It's a fantastic experience. Pisces Moonbeam will understand me. Am I not correct, Pisces Moonbeam? So you will have to give away something. You have to not give away, but give up from a something that you are very used to. It's a part of your life. It's a part of your routine. But the new future, if you decide to adopt it, will that part of you will be obsolete. In fact, it will be more of a weight, or of a dead weight, than a contributor, than something that helps. Yes, there we go. So Anna, it's not even a sacrifice. I deliberately not said sacrifice, because from another hand, Anna, what you have to give away, what you have to give up from is it's not essential, right? Isn't something that is gonna take away from you. For example, and now I'm gonna give myself example with myself. I hate alcohol, and if I am to be with a woman, you know, in a sense of a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, I don't want her to drink. I just don't want her to drink. That's something I can't put myself with. God forbid getting herself drunk. That is out of the question. That is the moment we split, right there, right then. So, you know, it's a habit most likely that you can't do without. In fact, it's better to do without, but you just got yourself accustomed to it. And if you do adopt that new lifestyle, the future is very promising for you, Anna, that this incentive is going to bring to you. Of course, you have to decide yourself. That is what the week has to offer to you. You're welcome, Rocky. And Karen. Let me reshuffle Karen for you. Well, you know, you can drink, but not in my presence. I don't drink. 8 of Cups, Karen. So, the card shows that you will have a better future than a present. That is the bottom line of the card. And that if you are finding yourself right now in a, let's say, a bad spot, that is just something temporary, and it will be important not to dwell into it, but just focus on what is to come, because what is to come will present you with a much better perspective. I don't want to give my suggestions so I don't raise your hopes from it, okay, Karen? But it seems that things are gonna get better, a lot better than they are right now. You are gonna feel better, optimistic, and in generally you will look forward to the future very, very soon. All right, so that was tonight's live stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching, attending, and as well thank you so much for your generosity. Vape and coffee, there we go, Anna. Thank you so much for your generosity. We're gonna see each other Friday. There is a change into the schedule. Up until this point, the live streams were at Thursday and Sunday, or that was the target for the live streams. Now the schedule is changed. The live streams are gonna, the target for the live streams are going to be Friday and Monday. So next Friday, which means that this is going to be at 10th of February, we're going to do, under the guidance of Pisces Moonbeam, we are going to do Mercury enters in Aquarius. There are a few important aspects, good aspects there, which Pisces Moonbeam is going to tell me about them and explain them to me so I can convey the information to you guys. And then, as usual, there are going to be readings for each sign. How Mercury enters into Aries is going to affect each sign in energetic level. So stay tuned for it. And Mercury in Aquarius, yes, this is what I said, I believe. Mercury enters Aquarius. That happens at 11th. So it's a day after. I am to do a live stream. I'm to do a live stream. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.